thank you all for coming. And what I thought I would do initially, go through the program that we're going to have today, and so we can do the introductions and just let you know the process that we'll be going through. Our first speaker is Harrison J. Schmidt, who is probably most famous for being the only geologist and civilian to have set foot on the moon as part of the Apollo 17 program. One of the more interesting elements of Harrison's background is that in 1970 he and a number of people put together the Society for People Born in Space. Okay, what do we mean by that? And what it means is Santa Rita, New Mexico, a small mining camp that was eventually subsumed into an open pit mine. And so those, we have a couple instances of that in Arizona where the mining camp was part of the initial property position, eventually got taken or put into the pit, and so the town as it exists is in space. Harrison got his PhD in geology at Harvard University, and I think there's a tie that we've always had because my father was also got his PhD at Harvard. And Harrison also served as a senator from New Mexico. And is currently a professor of practice in engineering physics at the University of Wisconsin-Madison. He has written fairly extensively on lunar resources, and particularly helium-3. And so I think that when we're looking at potential resources and what we're trying to capture under a legal regimen, that's what, or one of the major things we'll be looking at. Our second presenter is Stephen Fleming. He's Vice President of Strategic Business Initiative, Research and Discovery and Innovation here at the University of Arizona, and is looking predominantly at the possibilities for development of space resources. And so what we'll do is we'll have both of those presentations, one right after the other, and then we have a gap in the program to allow plenty of questions for you. Now, of course, if they start to go over, that it also gives us the flexibility there. Our third speaker is John Wiltshire. And he is emeritus professor at the University of Hawaii's Ocean and Resource Engineering Department. He's also a graduate geologist got his PhD in geology from the University of Hawaii, and he was a geologist working in northern Canada and Greenland when someone from the University of Hawaii offered him a job, and I just can't imagine why that was acted on it so quickly. I think that one of John's background that I find most interesting is that he was actually served ice cream by Barack Obama when Barack was working as, what was he?
In Baskin-Robbins.
At Baskin-Robbins.
He was a student at a local high school there, and he was the only black kid in this little Baskin-Robbins, which I always used to go to because I was a graduate student there. And then once he got to be president, I remembered who he was.
We'll then break for lunch, and what I thought I would do during lunchtime, for those of you that are interested, about a year ago, I interviewed Dr. Spencer Titley, and Spence was one of my dad's colleagues and was doing a geologic map of the moon as part of the preliminaries for the Apollo space program. So My undergraduate major was journalism, and so I imposed on Spence to take me up to Kitt Peak, where they were using the solar telescope there at night, when they obviously didn't need it to look at the sun. And so the image of the moon was projected on a plane table, and that's what they used for the mapping project. But when I started the course on comparative mining law, I wanted to include an interview with Dr. Titley at that point. And so it's 41 minutes long, and we'll run it during the lunch break for anyone that would like to watch that. After lunch, we'll have two more relatively short presentations by Professor Andrew Woods and myself. I'll talk about the history of mining practices when we haven't had any law, and Professor Woods will examine the various mining laws under consideration in various countries. I will admit that when a reporter called me several years ago and asked me about a mining law in space that was being considered in the U.S. Congress at the time, I told them that I thought that was a solution in search of a problem, and apparently they were way ahead of their time, and certainly I hadn't caught up yet. But so we'll take a look at that, and at that point, then we'll set things up for a panel discussion. We'll put a table out here and allow the participants here we've asked Rob Risley from Freeport-McMoran to join us for that. And we'll talk about what sort of legal structure that we should be considering for mining of space and lunar resources.